Hey guys, welcome to Ghost Gaming 83. I'm your host, Ghost. It's been a week. I know that you guys are expecting me to create videos, create content. Of course, I will have that every week. So mostly it will be on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Due to the fact that I am really busy at work. I work from 3 a.m. and I get off around 2:30, almost 3. So that's a 12-hour shift. And of course, I have another gig job at 5:30 to 8. So I'm a pretty busy guy. But anyways, it's SVS time. Today's subject is not SVS. I'm sorry, guys. To disappoint you, but as you can see, we are facing server 198. So in most SVS, mech, which is the alliance that I'm in, I created mech. Mech used to be the first place of the alliance with almost 3 billion power, but I guess people start going on their own path, and so we're now down to a billion. But it's okay. But you see, we are pretty much winning. Server 198, you guys are tough. You guys got some big players, but you need to get your tech up. Your tech is crap. But anyways, with a lot of time at work, you end up, when you played too much Evony, you end up to be like me, and this is what you turn out to be at work. Yeah, I know it's a little silly, but I was having a good time. It's not too busy, but I make my time worth. But anyways, today's general's highlight. I know you guys are trying to figure out or trying to guess what's the next general that I'll be highlighting. Well, it's on the top generals, guys. I'm trying to knock those down first. Here and there, I'll throw in the generals that is not in the top 5 general. Okay, but today's general belongs in the top 5 general. So let's take a look at today's highlighted general. Let's go to our tavern. Let's go to recruit. Let's go to portraits. And of course, this week, today, highlighted general of the day of the week goes to Zheng Hung Dao. Okay, for those of you that can't pronounce his name, is Zheng Hung Dao. Some of you might say Tran Hung Dao. Okay, but anyways, this is a wall general. Okay, right now my wall general is Yi Sun Sin. Okay, he's at 4 million power. I'm trying to craft a lot of arc gear, but due to the fact that I cut back on coining and materials are coming in pretty slow, so I'm keeping up, update the pace as much as fast as I can. But on the other side, I'm still debating whether I should keep or continue to upgrade Yi Sun Sin, or I should be upgrading Zheng Hung Dao. Okay, the one thing that I like about Zheng Hung Dao is, another thing I gotta point out why I keep on going into the tavern to look at the general instead of my general list is that in the tavern, you can actually click and view at the specialty, while in your general list, okay, in your general inventory, you can't click on it. You have to unlock it to be able to view it. But anyways, let's go to Zheng Hung Dao and let's talk about him. Let's talk about his basic stats. Leadership 108. It's decent. Attack 102, decent. Nothing, high up there. I've seen a lot of generals or wall generals or attack generals that has a basic stat of attack 118. Let's name a couple. There are what is it? Martinez, attack general 118. Roland, around there 118, 117. Joseph E. Johnson, his attack is pretty high, but Jung Hung Dao, his attack it's okay. Okay, he's not mainly used for attack. He's more used for defense. His defense 113. That's good. Okay, the more defense you have, the more you can, set yourself to counter the person that's attacking you. And politics at 109. So Jung Hung Dao, he's the imperial prince, statesman, and military commander of David during the Tran dynasty. So he's a commander for David way back then. So let's take a look at his special skill, Grand Prince. So he's a prince. So his special skill increased the ground troop HP by 20% and siege machines attack by 30%. When general is the main city general, of course, defense general. This stat, I like this stat. In comparison to Johnson, this stat is pretty good. Now, Johnson, he has stat that increase his range at 20% and siege at 20%, also his mount at a certain percentage. So range and siege on a wall general, that's just a crazy combination. Okay, that's very strong if you raise it up. Now Jung Hung Dao doesn't have range, but he has ground HP, and we've talked about this before. Ground HP, okay, your ground troop is the backbone defense of your castle. The more ground troop you have, the more barrier you surround yourself, okay, to block incoming enemy, and the more health power, okay, your ground troop has, the longer they will last in battle. Okay, they won't die as quick. As you can take a look at all your troops. Let's take a look at my tier 13. My HP is at 43,000. My defense is at 22,000. Now let's take a look at the archer. Archer's HP only 17,000 and defense at 7,000. And let's take a look at cavalry. 32,000 and 11,000 defense. So second and best for using defense is your cavalry, but first is your ground troop. Now let's take a look at siege. 5,000 and 3,000. Siege has the lowest HP and the lowest defense on the chart, but archery is the weakest unit in the game. So in this combination, when I look at Jung Hung Dao, it increases ground troop HP by 20%. Okay, so like I said, the more health power your ground troop has, the longer they will last in PvP battle. Okay, and of course these range siege machine attack 30%. Now we also talk about that siege machine kills everything. Okay, let's say for example you send in an attack with full siege machine. Let's throw some numbers out there. Let's say you throw in 600,000 siege machine, 10,000 ground troop, okay, and max out all your range troop, archery troop, which is at 300,000, mount troop 20,000. You set in and you clip along with it Napoleon, okay, the sea troop. You will see that it will not have any wound. Okay, if you have high enough technology, your sea troop will decimate the other player. Okay, the only thing that, or the only unit will get wound or ground, mostly ground because you're close up in combat. Mount, also close up. Range troop does have wounds, but not much because they're sitting back out of range from the attack. Okay, let's take a look at the specialty. Siege machine formation. Okay, this give 10% buff for both attack and defense for siege machine. Ambush applied to main city defense general. Trigger trap chance 20%. In city range troops and siege troop attack by 10%. So it does have the range troop included, but then for your specialty to be activated, you have to basically max out your specialty, and it does take a lot of time, a lot of ruins, and of course a lot of diamonds or gems. Okay, let's take a look at the third one. Siege machine Ares, increase 10% to your siege machine attack, health power, and defense. And of course the final, if you unlock all 3 or 4, it will unlock Li Song War, apply to main city general defense, in city siege machine attack 30%, and of course debuff range troop attack 30%, negative 30% for your enemy. Now what I see nowadays is that a lot of people are sending in more of a range unit to attack. If an enemy or even yourself in your castle, you do not have range, all you have is cavalry, all you have is ground troop, you're looking at a heavy loss. Okay, you need range troop to also counter that attack. Okay, so basically Zheng Hengdao, he is the mostly specialized and specialty in siege machine. All his specialty is or included in a siege machine. You only see one buff for range attack, but the rest is siege machine. Now you might want to ask, what kind of skill book do you skill Zheng Hengdao? Well, there's a couple way. Let's go to my general list. There's a couple way you can skill him. Okay, since his special skill has 2 buffs, and like I mentioned in the skill book, or skilling your general, if any general has more than 1 buff, you could actually stack up a skill book with that buff, and it gives you whatever certain amount of percentage according to the level of skill book that you have. And I believe level 4 skill book gives you 25% attack, defense, health power. Okay, so how do I skill Zheng Hengdao? What kind of skill book do I use for Zheng Hengdao? Well, I skilled him with the level 4 siege machine attack. It increased siege machine attack by 25%. Okay, then I skilled him, since he does not have range buff, he only has range buff in his specialty, and I don't know when I would get that max, but he only has about 10% of the buff for range in his specialty only. But as for his skill, special skill, he does not have range troop attack. So I went ahead and skilled him and put a level 4 skill book for range troop attack. It increased the range troop attack by 25%. Then, since he already has a health power buff by 20%, I meant, sorry about that, for ground troop HP, I went ahead and also stack a level 4 ground troop HP and increase another 25%. Okay. Now, there are variation of skill books that you could play with Jang Hung Dao. Okay, you could use level 4 siege machine attack, increase 25%. But if you want to mix match it around, you could use range troop defense. Okay, and of course ground troop HP, or you could take out range troop defense or attack and put in put in ground troop defense. Okay, but I wouldn't suggest you take out the range, because you need that range to pick off individual or a group of enemy coming your way before it gets to your castle gate. Okay, that's why you need the siege and you need the range to attack. And I believe this is a skill book that I put in that is most effective towards my type of play. Your type of play might be different. Everybody's type of play is different, whether you're an attacking player or a defensive player. Every type of play is different. Okay, as you can see, I only ruined some of his specialty. Let's click on it. So I got siege machine formation up to expert and increase 2% attack and defense for my siege machine. I also increase ambush, which gives me for my in-city trap triggering chance 4% and range and siege at 2%. You know, the one thing I don't like about trap, and there is a counter general that specializes in trap, is, let's go and see him. He's a counterpart of Jang Hung Dao, and he is Lee Tung Kit. Okay, his special skill is increase the trap triggering rate by 60% and range troop attack defense by 30%. You see, he has a 30% buff for range troop attack. Okay, Jang Hung Dao has 30% buff for siege troop attack. But with Lee Tung Kit versus Jang Hung Dao is Lee Tung Kit has trap triggering 60%. So basically, you need to keep on building trap. And the bad thing about building trap is that trap will trigger almost about anything and everything. Okay, let's say you do undead, you lose your trap. Okay, once undead reach you, your trap triggered, you lose your trap. You can't repair it, you can't heal it, so you're pouring in more RSS to build them, and you will continue to build them every single day. And I believe with that type of RSS, you can put in building your troops or upgrading your keep structures. Okay, trap is there for to use once. Okay, it can be triggered during undead, it can be triggered during Bok and Bog, and also SVS. And the one thing about this, the sad thing about this is that, let's say you have 250,000 trap, okay, and your keep is limiting yourself at 300,000. Now you go into Bok and Bog. Okay, if an enemy hits you, your trap trigger, you lose half of it, or whatever you have remains. Okay, and then the sad thing is that your troops gets wounded, it doesn't get killed. Once you exit Bog or Bok, all your troops heals up automatically. with no requirement of resource or speed up. It's just automatically healed. But your trap does not come back. Okay, all 250,000 trap gone forever. So you have to spend your time once again rebuilding your trap. You see how hassle that is? So that's why I use Zhangheng Dao. I prefer the siege 30% because siege machine is very destructive. Okay, and also I ruin siege machine Ares. This increase 2% of siege machine attack, HP, and defense. Okay, and I still have a long way to go. As you can see, for each specialty that I put ruins, this would cost me 50 ruin, okay, and 1,000 gems per. Okay, so basically if I want to learn per skill, it's going to cost me those, and I have about 3 million that I need to fill up to be able to level up to even Grandmaster. Okay, and with Grandmaster I have like about, I think, another 3 million or so, but it will cost more. It will cost like probably 100 ruins and 2,000 gems. So yeah, it costs a lot to level up these specialty, and it will take time. For those of you that are free to play or play for free, I'm sorry to say, but I would not know when you will get there if you don't spend, and I would not want to estimate your time and effort. So with cultivating, a lot of time, the first mistake that I've made when cultivating a general, I cultivated Legion. I put thousands of gems in it, but I cultivated wrong. Instead of putting total increase, I went ahead and checked attack increase and defense, and all I get is attack and defense increase. Leadership and politics is just nothing. Everything is up on attack and defense. Okay, you don't want to do that. Okay, you want to put as a default a total increase, so it will increase up all your cultivating point for all 4 categories. You do not want to select just one individual categories, then you're missing out on other points for other categories too. Now here's another tip, is that it depends on your general's level, okay, on how many times you can cultivate your general. Okay, if your general is at level 25, you can cultivate him, a bunch of time. Then the points start to turn red. That means you can't cultivate no more, or you're almost at your max. Now here's a little trick. Instead of gymming it to cultivate 10 times, you cultivate it by gold. Okay, you see how I cultivate and it's all red? I cancel, do that a couple of times, then, or a few times, or even 5 or 10 times, then go back to the gym and cultivate it, and your points will be green again instead of red. Okay, now how do you obtain this general? Well, this general is actually a tavern general. For most wall general, you have to buy packs, but this general you can get through the tavern. Okay, just go ahead and click on recruit, and as you can see, if your general, or if you don't see that general in your tavern, okay, it will cost you 50 gems to unlock it. So you might want to check mark the epic orange general box and refresh it until the general Zhangheng Dao showed up in your tavern. Okay, sometime it will cost you 5,000 if you're lucky. Okay, if you're lucky, it will only cost you about 100 gems. Okay, if you're not lucky, it can cost you 100,000 gems. Okay, on top of that, it will cost you gold to acquire him too. It will cost 38 million gold. Okay, but he is a really good general for wall defense. Right now I'm building him up, okay, in replacement of my current wall general defense. Okay, so that's it, guys. Today's highlighted general goes to Zheng Hung Dao. Okay, he's a grand prince. Okay. If you have any question, or you feel that this information or the information I provided to you has some kind of incorrection, and you want to put some notice into it, please comment below. You know, the only way that I can learn from players that have been playing for years, or even those consider themselves as OG, the only way myself and other player can learn from you is you give some input. Okay, so if you have any question, if you have any comment to make, please comment below. Okay, I will reply to your comment. Okay, thanks guys, and that's it. Today's highlighted general is Zheng Hung Dao. Thanks for joining Ghost Gaming 83, and be sure to subscribe, like, and turn on that notification bell. Okay, because once I have a new video up, it will show up in your notification, you know, right away. You don't have to wait, you don't have to go keep on coming back and forth to check if I have any video on my channel. It will notify you right away if I do. Okay, alright guys, happy gaming, and I'll see you next time. Later.